Hi guys, so today's topic of the video is women should join FAANG and boys and men should join startup. What does that mean is over my experience in software engineering and in AI as well, right? Like after 2018, it has been like six years, and which I noticed. I've given a lot of interviews. I've taken a lot of interviews as well, and being worked in a startup, being worked in a service-based company, right? I have experience of all of them. Now I could say. So one pattern I noticed that when you are starting a career in software engineering or in programming, or when you are in your first year, right? When you started like just started your college or something, right? What is the target you should go for if you're looking for job, right? First of all, I'll say that don't look for job, start braiding something, start creating something, and that is a altogether a different video. But if you are thinking about job, uh, I want to draw a bell curve. Probably I'll add that in editing. This bell curve, the middle line in the bell curve where the bell is, right? The middle line is for boys who are very good, who are very creative, who are very risk taking, who are very patient, who have like lot of good abilities, and these guys are the startup owners, the leaders and everything, right? Initially when they are in the college, and that group can do anything. If they want to go in a big companies like FAANG, or maybe a startup, they can do both of them, and they have all the things to do, right? And they're very courageous and everything. This little section is very rare. I think in a batch of one or two guy will be there. Right? It is a very thin margin, and I will rarely see that kind of persona in a class or something like this. Right? That is a thin. So I'm most probably I'll say neglect that. If you are one, I'm not making this video for that outlier. Right? That is for this video is for 98%, not for the 0.2%. Right? And so in that bell curve, this is mostly occupied by women. In bell curve, because the women are very systematic. They follow the rules of the university college they are studying. They are hardworking. They can put long hours. They are not as addictive as boys, right? Boys could get a lot of addiction. They could get addiction of gaming. They could get addicted to a person. They could get addicted to movies, enemies. There is so much thing they get good at. They are very passionate, right? But women on the side are opposite. They don't get into addiction that much. They are very smart early age because they have this biological thing. That is another video why women are smarter. Like, not women, girls are more smarter than the boys, and men are more smarter than the women. That I would say. There is a catch over there, right? When they are young and everything, two young kids are taken, the girls probably pretty much will be more smarter. So that's a separate video why they are smarter, and they are very systematic. They don't have this risk taking ability. So for them I would say they can follow this. So the basic idea is that this FAANG or mang nowadays we call it, and the startup is two different. The how they hire, mang's idea is that they don't want a super capable guy who understands everything. They want their filter criteria, right? They just want somebody. I'm talking about software engineering role, and or even AI or whatever specialization. Even for specialization, even they want somebody who knows the basics like the DS and everything, data structure algorithm, and that is their filter mechanism. That somebody has understood that they can do some kind of programming, they understand the structure, and probably they want to teach the technology which they want them to work. They want to mold the person in their requirement. So they want to hire a good blueprint, right? Their idea of hiring is they don't want somebody who knows a lot of stuff. They just want simple guy who has good grades, who has good communication, not excellent, just good, and can do data structure and algorithm. Right? That is their filter of hiring. Big companies, Infosys, TCS, Gemini, they were also like much more like that, but they're a little flexible, I would say. So what happened is that, and that number is very low. This is the method, and There are so many people are graduating this year, and their previous ones also. They are like backbencher, like people who have dropped or something. There are so many people in the queue, and the number of hiring is very little, right? So DSA method is very risky. It's like UPSC of UPSC of IT. In other words, if I have to say, so that is a very risky. It doesn't require a lot of creativity and everything. It just, there are so many courses, there is a pattern there, so many people have worked. You just follow the path, you do your daily practice, you do your lead code, and you will be quite comfortably will be able to make it. And this path is risky, but the rewards are also higher on the side. You'll get to work on a big company and everything. Probably uh, and the boys, I'll see, they are not very systematic, they are not very procedure oriented, they are high risk taking, they fluctuate, they are passionate to some degree and then fluctuate a lot and everything. They are creative, they're risk taking. So these kind of things really suits for the startup. They don't want, I've seen with myself, I didn't like to do practice a lot of days. Yeah, it's okay if one time I have to go understand them, traverse a tree one time, but not again and again mastering it to a level, right? Something called 80-20 principle, right? You work hard only 20% and 80%. I'm that more kind of, and most boys are like that. And there are few who, so the boys will like to understand new technology. People will love, they will love to do robotics, they will love to do game development, they love to create a website. They don't want to repeat the things, right? Boys, which I see. So they much more like learning the new thing. They don't care about DSA and this all. They want the things which is actually being used in the work and everything, right? And they go into that route, and this is actually a good route to go. Start getting a specification. Once you get a tool under your belt, a specification, experience, and some kind of thing, there is a low chance that you will be hired in a FAANG or something, right? Why is that? Because like you will easily crack down a startup, and this path is very risk free, right? Even you don't have a good grades, but you are able to do the things which are actually looking in the startups, you'll probably get hired, will get decent amount of salary, and within once you have 1-2 experience, you're gonna, then you can get good company. Not mang, but there are so many startups, well established startup. They're not like big FAANG or mang, but just second tier companies. They pay really good, and life is much simpler after that. And you can, like, once you have experience after working startup in a specific domain, uh, like, the world is open for you, right? Not for mang. Other than that, everything is open for you, and that's a very safe path, I would say, right? Somebody who's poor, who's come from like not good financial background, and I will not suggest them to go through DSA route and everything, right? That is a hit and miss thing, right? Like, there is a slight number of percentage that is gonna make it, and even if you master DSA, that is not gonna help you a lot to create something by your own, right? That skill doesn't work like this. But if you're on a startup, you learn about Git, you learn about a lot of Linux, you learn about a lot of DevOps, right? You learn about like, you can become full stack or something like this, right? You become overall good rounded guy. And so boys are much suited over there. If you are from a good background and you are not, don't feel that you're that creative or something, you're just here because you think that the software engineering is safe career, you don't really didn't had interest in IT and everything, somehow you are good with your academics and everything, you cracked the pattern of exams, how to pass exams, you have done well in your high school, you have cracked down the system, you are a good systematic person, right? You are that kind of person, but not excited. You would have done same thing any subject which you have taken. If that kind of guy, then you should probably go for DSN, and you are like well off. You can take some risk, right? You can take, you are from well financial house or something, you have a lot of time, then probably I'll say, hey, just don't you ruin your name with startup everything. You can probably aim for Google and something. What worse could happen if you don't do it? Say, in some point at you can join a family business, or then maybe you can start learning a tool and then get into any startup, right? That is always an option. That part, kind of guy, if you're there, then you should probably join. And the girls on the say, they lack the risk taking. Also, I see some pressure, like they don't do well with pressure and everything. And FAANG, and they have really good world culture, right? You will not find any work abuse. from any of your colleagues or senior, or there will be not that pressure what startups will kind of give you. So you will be well over there. What I will suggest, girls. So beautiful girls, right? If you're a girl and beautiful, you can probably go DSA route. What worse happen is that you will have chance, like probably uh, it's not a right platform to say about this thing, but yeah, if you good looking, there is always, I know a lot of classmates in my batch, they probably become a air hostess, right? They did a computer course, but still they were able to go into this air hostess route. They get to travel the world, they kind of fly around here, they have a good salary, right? So they actually came for IT because of money, and they got money. It doesn't matter which field comes from, and they kind of love their job, right? So if you're good looking or you're good height or something, like if you're looking girl or something, it's probably you can go with TSA route. Or worst can happen, you can just switch. But if you're a guy and you're ugly, or if you're a girl, the only talent is your brains, then DSA, it's hard. I would say just go with startups. I would say that I've seen. I remember Capgemini came to my college and the hiring was going on, and like I don't know how the process in different colleges. In our class, it was kind of easier. I could suggest or help somebody while the coding round was going, right. And I remember helping one of my friends, female friends in my class, and I did like most of the tasks. I helped them like a big chunk, right, which made them solve the problem. And that girl ended up hiring and me not, like the one who solved her problem something, and she was not even that good of a programmer or something like this, because they Capgemini came for some quota or something where they had to hire this number of female, and those girls who hire were like really beautiful girls that they might not be I knew for sure that they were not as good. I knew a lot of girls who were good programmer, but they didn't look good or they were not taller or something like this. So they ended up picking those people. I kept them. I don't know if it is the right thing to say, but yeah, I may be wrong. But yeah, that was my review at that time. So that kind of happened. Uh, but yeah, I'm nothing against or something. Some people have the requirement. Maybe the role was maybe a more like a business side or something. I don't know. This is I'm just trying to cover up. So that was the case. So I would say in the bell curve, which I described, the thin line in the middle is the boys creating the leaders, the future makers, and the most of the 80% line are girls, right? If you think that I'm saying a lot of bad shit about one, but I'll say in the bell curve, the middle, the whole 80% area is girls, because girls really do perform academically, do well. Not in the practical world, but academic world, they really do well. They understand the system. The system is made a feminine system. It's a feminine system, I would say. And if you are a feminine person, you're gonna crack that system really well. So they stand in the academic world. They really hold that bulk of 80% over there. And then you have this side leftovers. Those are men's. Probably they have a lot of other passion. They somehow end up in the software engineering. They wanted to make money. They have this burden of responsibility. They don't do academically well, but they understand practically a lot of things, and they are very highly adaptable to new environment. And when the pressure is about the last year or last semester something, they end up pulling up their belt and do something, understand some tool, somehow crack a job or something. And once they go in job field, they like take the advantage, learn at faster pace. They climb the ladder, and then so these kind of areas, right, the side ones which I'm talking, for them probably it's a good to have a skill or tool. Like you take AI, you took cloud, you took full stack, you took DevOps, you took front end or something. Any specific skill, make some good projects, and just join a startup. That is the thing you should do. But somebody who's stable, who have systematic view, they are not that creative, simple. They are just there for namesake, want to go into. So for them, it's a FAANG. And how can I tell is that I remember my resume have got selected 2 times in the Google. I've ended up in the one time I self rejected myself, and second, the first time actually I did went to two rounds of interview, and the third I actually failed. So ended up there, and but that was a all different case. You could probably watch that video of mine why I did that. But in that experience, the first one I was lucky. He didn't ask me a lot of DSA. There was a telephonic round where he didn't ask me. He was supposed to ask me DSA question, but with the way my experience and everything, he felt comfortable that that round was not needed. He could directly go for the specialization round where I was supposed to get into AI and everything. So DSA somehow luckily skipped. But second time when I had my interview, that time they were full on DSA. I don't know, they were looking for 3-4 years, and I have touched DSA way back in my academics, and after that it has never been used. I'm in the AI industry, and the way we write programs, we don't use graphs and all. We have GPUs, right? We probably use CUDA programming more than this kind of thing, right? So yeah, the test was nowhere around that. They were basically trick questions of DSA. And once I started seeing those questions, I self-rejected. Hey, I don't want to continue. I know I will probably will perform terrible. So let's not waste both of our time. So I just ended up saying, hey, maybe you can give me some time where I can prepare for TSA. And then that never the case. Never, like, one of the things I learned from giving a lot of interviews, also taking a lot of interviews, that whenever you get the first opportunity, just reply. If they give you time slot, just pick the first. The later you go, the later a chance that might interview get pushed or schedule, reschedule or something like this. Like the early bird catches the worm, right? One time I remember uh, when I was interviewing, and they asked me like, "Hey, what is the best time you can connect with you?" I told them of a time of 7 p.m. or something because I was working. 6 p.m. will be my office time. Then I will be free on some weekday. I told them, "Hey, I want to do this at this time," and that they didn't respond at all. And for the next time, whenever I got to say, hey, when you do meet or something like this, I just immediately, whatever the next hour is, if they are available. So that has always worked for me. So the whole thing is that Mang, FAANG, right? Those they have really different hiring strategy, and the people who hired from this DSA kind of thing, right? Uh, they are like working class, the labor class of that company, I would say. The way this has been, their growth has been slow, what I see. And the person who works in the cutting edge of Google or something, right? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Probably in India, right, how this is work, they require a lot of heavy lifting and like a lot of boring stuff and everything, right? Cloud management, small AI projects or something. They will probably hire people from here only, and that the DSA will work. They the worker ends, right? They want to hire worker end through DSA thing. But if you see the cutting edge work which Google has done in the field of AI, quantum or whatever, they hire researchers like PhDs and these whole thing, right? And they have a different process. They don't go for DSA, and that is from most probably US. Like if you're an Indian or somebody who's from not US, probably you have to do masters or PhD something from there. Good, do some good research with a good professor, have some publication done, and that's a different way, right? And from there, if you hired, you will probably doing a lot of cutting edge work in the Google or this big company, FAANG, right? That is actually a good thing to do, but I think a lot of people will not go till that route. This video is specifically somebody young graduate who's studying now, if they want to target to what to do in their third year, fourth year. The startup guy who was in the side of the bell curve, right? The boys was probably, and the middle thin line of the boys, right? Those guys should definitely learn the life skill, the tools which is actually used in the real world. Some specialization, go depth into specialization, probably you'll get a good job. That's a very safe route. There's no failure. Like if you do it fine, you will, like once you do the like tool, somewhere you will get the work, right? Somewhere, because you are a productive person, you can do something in the real world, right? But with DSA you cannot build shit, right? And that is good for a qualification purpose for this FAANG and MANG, so they go that route, and that is a very risky thing, right? You have to be very patient, and maybe you have to give 1 year a time of practicing. You must have started from the third year only, start practicing. You don't have to learn other stuff that much. So we practiced DSA lead course and this kind of thing, and somehow ended up good. Like, and if you are a person from like good tier one college, then I would also suggest DSA, because I have seen a lot of hirings from banks, and the name works, right? If you're IIT or NIT or something, and you're not on the technical side or something, and you're good, just go for DSA, man. Leave the startups for this brokey second tier, third tier. And I'm not shitting on it, but yeah, that's a much safer for these people who are not that financially free and they really want a job or something. So that is for today video. Did I miss something? uh, Let me recap what I just said. If I could add on few things. Yeah, like that method, I don't agree to that thing of hiring, right? So how I feel like if they keep on, but there is always like I don't like the way that like, hiring through DCA, data structure and algorithm, but it is working for them, right? They wanted those laborer ants that way. Although I'm speaking like this, but it's a very good place to be, I would say, India, if you're nothing. So yeah, that is for all. Probably the better way of hiring is, I will not say that is, working specialization is risk free. You do a specialization that will put you risk free, but probably will not get FAANG. You might get FAANG, maybe you have worked for 2-3 years now. Then again you have to revisit DSA, because first round will be on that. Maybe you need to find a company where that stress is not there and you have some time to learn DSA on the side and something like this. Then you can probably then you can reapply for Mang and go through that DSA round. But there is a chance that sometime if you're not a DSA person, like I told you in one of the Google's interviews, somehow I was able to skip the DSA round. So that is a very rare percent, I would say. But yeah, there is chance that if you on the specification side, there is a chance that you might have kind of skipped a bit. Like after 2-3 of experience, there is a chance that they will not go for DSA round or something. So but that's a luck thing, I would say, than the system. So I have to see you in the next one. Probably have a few videos in my mind. Like what? Like probably I'll share. So see you in those videos.